illegal, null and void, describing it as a desperate attempt by the imposters to destabilize the party.
The SDP, once positioned to lead coalition talks ahead of the 2027 elections, now find itself battling internal divisions, a crisis mirroring what seems to be a broader struggle within Nigeria's opposition parties as 2027 approaches. Join us this morning to unpack what it means for the party and its political prospects. We're joined by the 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Prince Adewole Adebayo. A warm welcome to you, sir. Thanks for joining us on Breakfast Central.
Thank you.
Now, Prince, the SDP used to be seen as one of those formidable parties that was kind of insulated from all the internal wranglings and drama that we've seen in opposition parties in Nigeria's recent history. What exactly is happening within the SDP, and how did internal disagreements escalate to this level of that we're seeing expulsions?
Well, thank you. God bless Nigeria. Number one, I don't know if there is any problems in the SDP in the manner in which it's been described, because the constitution of the party emphasizes what is happening now. And there isn't anything happening now that is contrary to what is expected. If you look at the ruling party, the APC, we did the 2027 elections. They said they won the election. They formed the government. They have the president. But they've had three chairmen. They did the election with Abdullahi Adamu. His tenure did not expire. He and the Mishori, national secretary, had to leave. And then he had Ganduje with Bashir as national secretary, Ganduje as national chairman. Ganduje left, and Natawe is there now. So it's not only in the position that we make changes to the leadership. So I think we need to look at it from that perspective, that a political party is not a tea party. It's an organization full of officials who are not necessarily friends, but do have different constitutional rules to play. And some of those rules require checks and balances. And when a political party is using its check and balances power to moderate the behavior of its officials, people should not jump into conclusions that there's crisis. If there's a crisis at all, it is a personal crisis for those who were removed. It is not a crisis for the party. That's simple as that.
So maybe what people are referring to as a crisis is the very strong allegations against the former chairman, Alhaji Shehu Gabam. They have alleged that they've accused him of betrayal, they've accused him of diverting party funds to the tune of almost 1 billion naira. And these are very strong allegations. Don't you think that these are strong enough to be referred to as crisis? And can you speak to the truth or the authenticity of these claims?
What I can tell you basically is this. I'm not a member of the National Working Committee. I am not a member of zonal committee, state committee. Even in my own word, I'm not an executive. I'm just a member who has risen to leadership in the party. And the party has its own ways of finding out facts. The fact that a national officer or a state officer of a party is said to have committed mismanagement or corruption or any malfeasance is a sign that the party is working fine. What the media needs to find out, instead of shouting crisis, crisis, is to find out about the process. Now, in the case of the SDP, Air Vice Marshal Liman Abubakar, a member of National Institute, a retired Air Vice Marshal, was asked to head a 5 or 6 man committee, and they came with a finding. And that finding went to the National Working Committee, and they set up another committee of the National Working Committee, and they have a white paper. The former national chairman is allowed to say, I'm innocent. I didn't do it. So, and the party would consider both sides, look at the evidence before the party, and know who to believe. And in this case, the National Working Committee believes the finding of the Air Vice Marshal Liman's committee. And issue a white paper saying we believe it, and these are the sanctions. Now, Shehu Gabam is my friend. He's someone I respect, someone I like. And if he says I'm innocent, I wasn't there. I will say, okay, you say you're innocent, but this is what the panel has found about you. He knows the next step to take in a situation where you say you are innocent, but you have been accused of certain things, and the committee has been set up, and the committee indicts you, like any other organization. You know the step to take. And those are the areas along which we are advising the parties to say, look, if a committee was set up, everybody attended, including the National Secretary, or everybody in the national offices of the party attended that committee. And I believe the white paper is available to the media. They have read the white paper several times. And if Shehu Gabam, who is presumed to be innocent, the Constitution, keeps saying, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, it's just like if the police arrest your neighbor or your brother for an offense and they charge him to court. And he says, I'm innocent. He's allowed to say so. When the court sits and the court says you are guilty, I will tell him, well, the court has said you are guilty, so what do you do next? Maybe you appeal or something. So within the framework of the SDP, nobody has gone out of their way to do anything that can make me to say there is crisis. It is the duty of the executive to protect the assets of the party. It is the duty of for example, the national auditor was asked questions from what I read in the report. Why are we having to set up this committee? Excuse me. It is your duty as national auditor to have found out how these monies were being managed. Look at the report that you wrote, saying nothing was missing and everything was in order. And I read in the report where it said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't do my duty well. That report was not even written by me, but this is your signature. He said, well, okay, if that's the case, I resign. And he apologized to the party and tendered his resignation. And the national treasurer has a sanction against him. Even Dr. Oluwagunloye, national secretary, has a sanction against him by that report because the Liman committee, Air Vice Marshal Liman committee, found out that he, as national secretary, did not play his role correctly. So if a political party is trying to put his affairs in order, try to do what is right under the Constitution, and if people are saying, oh, there is crisis here and there, shouting crisis, crisis, I don't understand it. Are you saying that if the SDP had won the presidency, and now I'm the president, and my political party will not have the power to question what I'm doing in office, and if I'm wrong, to sanction me and say, no, I did the wrong thing?
That's a position that, and I hear you, but this position is a position that you've taken. Alhaji Shehu Gabam takes a very different position, and I still have a bit of a pushback regarding this subject matter, but we need to go on a break. When we come back, I'll bring the next question that sort of probes a little further into that area. Stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast 10 Central. We're still looking at the SDP, the recent expulsion from the party and what the implications of that might mean. I was speaking with Prince Adewole Adebayo, who was the presidential candidate of the 2023 elections for the Social Democratic Party. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Before we went on the break, you had laid a foundation to say that you don't believe that the SDP is in crisis. One, because they're doing their due diligence, cleaning the house, ensuring that whatever issues they have, they're rectifying it. And if they have strong evidence against Alhaji Shehu Gabam that, this is basically sorted out by them firing him or the expulsion from the party. And again, you've rightly mentioned that there's a presumption of innocence. He has the right to say he didn't do it. Recall that he was, first of all, suspended in June, and then now this expulsion has come. We would assume that this would have been enough time for thorough investigation to happen and for him to be able to put up a strong defense. He's, however, insisting that he's the leader, the national chairman, that he remains the national chairman of the party, that any of such meetings that should have been had, that the National Working Committee does not have the authority to preside over such meetings, that it is only the national chairman, and in this case, him, that has the right to preside over such meetings. So if he's insisting that he remains the national chairman and that any other meeting that happens outside of him is an illegal meeting of some sort, who really is the chairman, the national chairman of the SDP? And what is the way forward if he continues to insist that this is rightfully his position?
Well, it's an argument. The political party is a democratic institution, and he's expressing an opinion, which we listen to that opinion carefully. The National Working Committee is not the highest decision-making organ in the party. We have the National Executive Committee, the NEC. After that, we have the National Convention. So the arguments that Shehu Gabam is making in the news or the media, they are not arguments that we can worry about. We can't punish him for having his opinion, whether it's right or wrong. Maybe his lawyers are telling him that. It's like you saw some people are charged to court in Nigeria for crimes. They go to court and say, you have no jurisdiction over me. I've had cases, I don't want to mention them because they are sub judice, where somebody is asked to push up his defense in a criminal trial. And he goes in front of the judge, you have no jurisdiction over me. He fires his lawyers, so you have no jurisdiction over me. I'm not going to put up any defense. You are free. When you are faced with any legal proceedings, you are free to make any argument you want. It doesn't mean that the argument is correct or incorrect. It's not relevant. Just an argument you're making. What matters most importantly is to ensure that the party has made its decision, and I believe that cooler heads are prevailing one way or the other. And in no matter of a short while, you will see that whatever argument anyone is putting up, they will review the argument and they will realize that maybe this argument, you are making it outside the forum and it may not have any impact. The way you react when you are sanctioned in the party is to immediately appeal against the decision of the NWC to the National Executive Committee, so that when the NEC is meeting, they're going to review these decisions, and when they're reviewing this decision, they can consider your objections to it. But nobody is going to come and argue with you in the media. Any argument you put up, people will just listen to you. Shehu Gabam is my brother. He's a friend of mine. He's someone I like, and he likes me. And in his period of crisis, I'm not going to go on the media arguing with him over what he says. The only thing is, seeking my personal opinion, I will advise him privately to say, maybe you should take a second look at this side and that side. Maybe these are the steps you should take. But I can assure you that this is just a storm in the teacup. In a few days, you will see that everything is over and everybody has moved on.
Okay.
But what is important is for us to know that a political party that is not capable of introspection, that is not capable of looking at itself and questioning its own processes, a political party that has leaders who come out every day criticizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, criticizing the APC government, criticizing the other governors, criticizing people, and is not capable of looking inward to look at its own processes to see that its own officials are acting rightly and are acting within the Constitution, that political party is a hypocrite.
Okay.
And the SDP cannot be a hypocrite.
All right,
we see every day, you see us challenging the ruling party. We should be able to keep a clean house, put our house in order, and justify the trust of Nigerian people as a political party. We shouldn't be hypocrites who are hiding. What we should worry you to be a major crisis if you are hearing that the house of SDP is smelling and we are covering it up. If you are hearing that our officials are mismanaging resources, there's no accountability, and we are covering it up, that's where you should be disappointed in us. But when you see us try to make amends, try to put our house in order, try to correct our officials, high or low, I can tell you. And Shehu Gabam is a well-seasoned SDP person. He was there as National Secretary when Professor Jerry Garner was expelled from the party. He was there. And Jerry Garner was a leader of his. He was there when Governor Donald Duke was expelled from the party. Shehu Gabam was even vice presidential candidate to Donald Duke. He was there when El-Rufai was expelled by the party. So don't be surprised one day you hear that anybody, including myself, if we misbehave, the party has the power to discipline you. And if you look at the ANC, they disciplined Thabo Mbeki. He was a sitting president.
Okay, talking about
disciplined by his party.
Talking about yourself, Prince Adewale, sorry to butt in. Talking about yourself, what's your stand? Because 3 weeks ago, it was also mentioned that you equally have been suspended from the party. That's my first question to you. I'd like to know where you stand currently. And secondly, this was mentioned by the way, your suspension was mentioned by another national secretary, Ambassador Judith Shaibu. It's been rumored that she's a national secretary for the party. I don't know how true that is. We'd like you to also clarify that. So what's your stand? It was mentioned by her. And then aren't you worried that it seems all the other political parties are having internal altercations? Are you not worried that this in a way is going to affect your chance of being another presidential candidate come 2027?
Okay, thank you. Number one, I don't know what you're talking about 3 weeks ago. Every day, the party interacts with me, including yesterday, and I don't know the ambassador. Ambassador to which country? I don't know any ambassador. Our national chairman has been Shehu Gabam. Now that he has been disciplined, Professor Sadiq Abubakar Gombe, who was deputy national chairman, is acting as national chairman. Our national secretary has never changed. It's Dr. Oluwagunloye. Party interacts with me every day. I'm not a national officer of the party. The only person who has power over me will be my ward chairman in Ondo. I tell you what meet that. So, and if you don't know somebody, I can't react to nobody. I don't know anything like that. So the important thing is to realize that the party is well known. The office is at number 17, Nairobi Street. The national officers are well published in INET. National officers are even prominent people. Our national secretary, Dr. Lu Agunloye, was the pioneer head of road safety. He was Minister of Defense. Professor of geophysics, first class geophysics from Stanford University and from IMT in Massachusetts. So you know him very well. So there's nothing hidden about the party. He was national chairman before. Before we did the reversal because of zoning, I came down and became national secretary. So he was the one who took over from Professor Tunde Adeniran, who was Minister of Education and Ambassador to Germany. And then Adeniran took over from Chief Olufai GSF, now a king in Akure, Oba Olufalai. And he was Minister of Finance. He was Secretary to Government of the Federation and all of that. So there's no unknown names in the party leadership. So that story is probably one of those funny things, fake news. But what I want to talk about is that, for me, any political party that does not behave well, that does not govern its resources well, that does not discipline its member well, that political party in Nigeria should be afraid of it. That this political party will be like APC, where there's cover-up. APC is covering up what is going on in government. They are covering up what's going on inside their party. There is corruption and everything everywhere, and they keep quiet about it. We can't do that because we are trying to do politics of the alternative. So we are not ashamed to publish and say our member has done something wrong. We also won't disrespect that member saying, I did not do it. I did not do it. When the legal process is completed, you will see the result. Right now, the white paper is out. You read the white paper. Shehu Gabam, if you were that, some who were indicted there, they comply with the white paper. Those who were supposed to resign have resigned. Those who were supposed to apologize have apologized. Those who were supposed to go back to another committee to give more accountability are doing so. In the case of Shehu Gabam, he has reserved his right as a Nigerian to say, I don't accept the report. I believe that he knows what to do. I won't be surprised if he appeals to a higher body in the party. Meanwhile, when he was suspended, even though he said, I don't like suspension, he complied.
Okay.
Now that he has been removed as chairman, he will have to comply. There's nothing you can do about that.
Prince Adewole.
But
yes, if I may come in here, because we're running out of time. Looking at the bigger picture and looking at opposition strategy in Nigeria, we're inching closer to 2027. And the last time the opposition defeated an incumbent presidency, it had to take collective effort. There was a merger of political parties, the APC joining with the CPC bloc, and to give us what we now know as the All Progressive Congress, the ruling All Progressive Congress. If you look at Nigeria today, the opposition space is quite fragmented. I mean, a lot of the opposition parties have one sort of internal issues or the other. And many Nigerians believe that the opposition parties are failing to provide a united front, and Nigeria is slowly sliding into a one-party state. What's your take on this? And is there still hope of a sort of merger, coalition, or presentation of a united front? Or can the SDP go it alone?
First and foremost, let us understand something clearly. There is nothing that's happening in the opposition that stops Nigerians from voting out APC. There's nothing happening in the opposition that changes the fact that you are hungry. The economy is getting worse for you. There's inflation everywhere. There's insecurity.
But Prince Adebayo, the logic is that if you can't keep your house in order, how are you going to run Nigeria if you can't even manage the affairs of a political party?
That's a wrong narrative. That's a wrong narrative. First, the media is quite lazy. So they go out and say, crisis, crisis, without looking into it. Number one, what we are finding out is what you should be finding out for us. You are the one who should be questioning our officials. Even I, that I'm running against President Tinubu, I ran against him last time, I'm running against him. You should look at me closely. Everything I do in my life should be under scrutiny. So the fact that the opposition is scrutinizing itself is not a reason to say they're in crisis. That's no. The fact that we are opposed to President Tinubu doesn't mean we cannot be opposed to one another if we too are doing what is wrong. That's number one. Number two, opposition coming together has to be that opposition is coming together based on principles. So, for example, I disagree vehemently with the policies of the APC. It doesn't mean that I automatically agree with the policy of the PDP, or I agree with that of any other political party. So we're having conversation, even on the 11th of November, we're having additional conversations. And we have told any political party that wants to work with the SDP that we need to give an alternative to the Nigerian people. If you are going to come and do the same thing that President Tinubu is doing that is failing, there was the essence of Nigerian people joining us. You mentioned 2015. 2015 was a success for the politicians, but a failure for Nigerian people. Because when the APC formed their gang up, Nigerians were happy, and they took over government from President Goodluck Jonathan of PDP, and they started behaving like PDP too. They got worse. So we are going to take over. 3 things I can assure you. One, President Tinubu is going to be a one-term president. We are going to defeat him handsomely. Number two, the opposition elements in Nigeria will come together with Nigerian people. But we will come up with another ideology that is not the ideology of, after we defeat him, become the same thing as he is now, which Nigerian people will say we're even worse off. 3, the fact that we have disagreements among ourselves is part of the cleaning process. And don't be surprised and don't be concerned that the governors are all moving to APC. It is a good thing that the governors are all moving to APC because they were fooling Nigerian people by belonging to 3 different political parties before. Right. They all behave the same way. They all have the same ideology. So it's good for them to go to one place. And it's so that when Nigerian people want to fire them, it's easy for them to fire them. They won't be confused about it.
Prince Adewole Adebayo, thank you for joining us and sharing this 3-point agenda that you have shared. Wish you all the best as you run for office at the next elections, and all the best with the SDP as it carries on with its housekeeping.
Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria.